I'm Dale Smith for Loony Politics, and there's currently a pissing match going on between the Liberal and the Conservative House leaders over the composition of a committee that is supposed to oversee the Emergencies Act. But the act was lifted before the committee could even be formed because everyone couldn't stop talking long enough for them to actually have a vote, particularly in the Senate. What this ends up meaning is that this committee, which is supposed to provide real-time oversight of the orders stemming from the act being used, is that the government is saying that they need to still meet in order to provide a report on why the act was used. But there are a few complicating factors. First of all is the composition. Judging from the composition of the House of Commons and the Senate, the proposal is for there to be 3 Liberals, 2 Conservatives, 1 Bloc, 1 NDP MP, and then 1 senator from each of the 4 caucuses in that chamber. Where the problem is when it comes to the chairs. The proposal that the Liberals put forward is for 3 co-chairs, the NDP, the Bloc MP, and 1 senator, of which group we do not yet know. The big fight is coming over who gets to chair this. The Conservatives believe that they should have 2 of the 3 chair spots, 1 for the MP and 1 for the senator, owing to the fact that they are the official opposition and it's their job to keep the government to account. The Liberals, on the other hand, are countering that because the Conservatives cheerleaded this occupation, that bias would show in being a committee chair, and therefore they don't want them in that position. Now, they're not saying that the Liberals should be in that position, but that is partly what the Conservatives are claiming, because the NDP on that chair position, they are claiming would be a de facto Liberal because they are trying to assert that the 2 parties are in coalition, which is not true and is not how a hung parliament works, but nevertheless, this is the situation we find ourselves in. The government has put a motion on the order paper in order to debate and vote this in the full House of Commons if it comes to that, but there's another complicating factor here as well, which is that the Emergencies Act states that this committee needs to report back within 7 sitting days of when the orders were lifted. That's not a lot of time for the committee to meet, discuss the issue, produce a report, and then report back within those 7 sitting days. There will be a constituency week in there where they could do work, but that's still not a lot of time. As well, the notion that the committee needs to be doing this work in terms of reviewing why the act was necessary is somewhat moot, because there is already a provision within the act that an inquiry needs to be launched within 60 days as to the use of the Emergencies Act. And that inquiry will have 360 days to produce a report. Having a parliamentary committee do this same work within 7 sitting days doesn't seem like a good use of time or effort, considering that the primary purpose of that committee was supposed to be real-time oversight, and it was never formed in time. This is going to be a major sticking point within the next week, so we'll see how this plays out, but both sides are trying to score points against one another, and it's really not looking like our parliament is full of grown-ups at this moment. For Loony Politics, I'm Dale Smith.